And welcome back. Okay, so we had just fought the Scalfings at the Nobleman Tavern with Eric and Valgard. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be. Eric fell and was it Gnolf fell, but apparently there's not permadeath, which is good. I was really worried there. So anyway, back to this conversation. Eric is looking out the hall's windows onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. Ubin says, "One banner I know well, Vognir. Next for Varl kingship last we spoke. The other flag looks important." Eric says, "Yeah, important guess. So what I deal with, see what I deal with all day long? Things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived." Eric says, "Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor?" Sure, what is it?" "If you happen to stall our guest down the docks, I wouldn't object." "Maybe I will," says Ubin. Eric and Valgard hustle from the meat house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Right. So, I still don't know what all that is, but that's alright. So we're going down to the docks. Here. Vognir. A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. Vognir, "Gods, Ubin, you're looking ancient." Well, he does. He does at that. Comes with being old, and if there's Vognir, there must be Hakon. Hakon. There's Hakon. Must there. Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks? At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Gerunder demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Arborang, in fact. And glad for it, says Hakon. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering, golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. Hakon says the king's whelp. Vognir, the king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital. He visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. Hakon says a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? Says Ubin. I had the distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstance, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What's he trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Okay. I picked up on the sarcasm. Where is Mogir? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mogir, so see you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. Oh, Scrivener, so he must be some sort of... He's a trader, but maybe a historian or a bard type person. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Well, that's not a very pleasant way to describe somebody. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Let's go meet this prince. I think that might be a good idea. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Okay. That music in the background. Sounds properly Scandinavian. Guards blanket the buildings, including a sharp-eyed Varl, who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ubin. Wait, so I think the girl was Prince Ludin, I think. Yeah. That's the redhead woman. Yes, you're Vognir. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I have known Vognir a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Oh, okay. The woman is somebody else. I thought the game was calling... It was... I thought Ubin thought that Ludin was a girl. Sorry. Ludin says, why? I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I hope to learn more about you. I have a habit of recording history. I thought we might talk about your visit. That makes sense. A Varl historian. Aha. Don't you already know? Your king and mine both have been practically trumpeting it throughout the cities. I have been on the road a while, I'm afraid. Ludin takes a deep breath. Whether tired or ingracious, you aren't certain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Vognir came to our capital in Arberang, and now we go to the Varl's capital in Grofheim to cement this grand alliance for the next age of men in Varl. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it. It is damn cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. Okay, so some sort of alliance is going on. Let's go ahead and talk to Hakon. Scrivener, you find Hakon in a mead house, surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon? Ubin says. Vognir is the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha, humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yox fart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. That's a little insulting. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon let slip a slow chuckle. Any Varl would recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through Edredge at Vognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. Alright, so we've talked to those two guys, and now I think we can go ahead and head to the Great Hall to rest. At dawn, you're woken by delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damned hard to tell with a sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers, all there just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with it. 20 renown. Not bad. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Vognir is already there. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Mogir steps forward. Vognir's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. We are ready. You follow Mogir and join the others. Usually, the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort, just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think. We're off. To what? I don't know. Hey, look, there we are. So cool looking. I really love it. Alright, we have 366 Varl, 85 fighters, supplies for 67 days, those are days passing, and 34 renown. We have great morale. That's all now making sense. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Mogir, cracking open mead casks. From our gracious friend, the Governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. I will toast to Vognir. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between Man and Varl. The others join in. Luden's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually you sit down beside Vognir. Let's chat with Vognir. Thanks for the speech, slurs Vognir. Oh, okay. Looks like you didn't have to miss out after all, says Zubin. Thanks to Mogir, I thought the damned governor would never shut up. Did he give you the history of his entire family? He tried, then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Luden? Hopefully the boy goes back to Arborang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakon. You don't like the life of a diplomat? Don't you miss the fight, Ubin? You down your mead instead of replying. Vognir slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing Dredge, but pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be warriors would follow you for what you'd done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Says Zubin. Is it? Or is it because I'm the next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. They've always been muddy, Vognir. Vognir stares at the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. Alright. You rise groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Mogir is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Luden stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Vognir, you're needed. You can zoom. So even the conversations you can zoom in. It's an interesting approach. Oh, there's someone there. Huh. Ah, it's Luden, always a pleasure. You look well rested. Vognir releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come on, I'll show you on the map. Okay, good. A map. World map. You drag the map around to look around. A portrait icon shows where your caravan is in the world. You can also tap on any location to get some history about it. When you're done with the map, tap the X at the bottom of the screen. Oh, okay. So this is... Oh, it's huge. Okay. So we were just at Strand. As close as anything comes to a bastion of racial tolerance. Both Men and Varl compete to scratch out living in this, the biggest trade city along the west coast. Many people still believe the god Drengler still watches over it, granting good fortune. Like, we're here. We're almost at Vedrfell? Vedrfell. In bad weather, the gales that blow in from the bay and around the mountain peaks keep Vardfell in a generally unpleasant state. What really cemented the name was the kind of person who would live here, the man cast out from Strand for one reason or another, with nowhere else to go. Wandering road. Wow. This is pretty cool. So we're heading to Grofheim, last home of the Varl and the seat of their power, founded by Arnfnir, the second Varl king. Though the Varl have moved around a lot, most consider Grofheim their capital. The deeds of the Varl are honored here, and all warriors of worth are buried at the foot of the two spears, where they are said to become part of the Varl's march itself. So where's their capital? The human capital is in Arborang. From humble beginnings to the eventual seat of power for the king, Arborang It is the most populated, contested city throughout the human lands, as each new generation of residents builds another ring of walls which sprawl outward from the cliffs. The city continues to grow larger, more indulgent, and more dangerous. So it's quite a large place to... There's so much detail. Good lord. I think when I'm off screen, I think I'm going to go through this map in quite detail just to learn the lore so I know more what's going on. I'm sure there's wikis or places where you can find out this information. But we won't go through all of it right now. So we're here, heading to Verderfell, and we're heading up to Grofheim. So we actually have quite a way to go. Let's just check out right here near us. Last gate. Crossing a small bridge leading from Verderfell into the Wandering Road marks a small but significant moment in which the Varl truly separate itself from humanity in search of their own lands. In the Wandering Road, at the end of the First Great War, the Varl had more to contend with than mankind to the south. Above the Bradebrek peaks, the lands crawled with furious, war-minded dredge. The first Varl king, Einar, led the entire Varl race across the snowy fields of the Wandering Road, sweeping away dredge as they went, before forming the first Varl kingdom at Einartoft, which must be over there. So, are we heading that way, or are we taking this road? Who knows? Okay, let's continue. We head north, then east past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand, going to be a long march. We should have drank last night, Ludin. Why not take the ships to Skymirstead? What's the point of marching? Ludin says the Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skymirstead. Skymirstead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge prints, dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludin exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off to. Ludin's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Verderfell, if we're lucky. So it seems like a very large world to sort of explore. Camp. Camp is where you manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equipment items in the hero's tent. You can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. A high morale will reduce casualties and more and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow you to safely try out any characters in mock battle. Tap leave at the bottom of the campsite when you're ready to go. Alright, so let's go to heroes. Let's go check this out. Injuries. One of your units is injured. Injured units can still fight but have a penalty to max strength equal to the number of days wounded. They heal as time passes. Okay. Oh, right. Gunolf is injured. Click on a unit to view stats, promote ranks, and learn about abilities. So let's go ahead and click Mogir. Rank 1 Shield Master. Click on ability to learn about the unit's abilities. So he has Bring the Pain. Okay. And return the favor. Oh, okay, so... Okay. He is unwounded. He has no points available. Old hand in Varl culture, long on the front line of the fight against the Dredge. He's had the occasional brush with the leading a clan of his own, but eventually settled well into commanding Wagner's personal army of Varl warriors, and is highly respected amongst them. Okay. Gunolf. Hello, Gunolf. Ask for equipment, I guess. So when Ubin became the Varl King's tax collector, he was given an entourage of bodyguards to help transport gold across Hraun. Gunolf is the only one from the original group still alive, and for good reason. So, okay. So he has the Tempest ability and Heavy Impact. Okay. That must be a passive type thing. And then we have no points available. And Ludin, rank 1 Spearmaster. He has special abilities of Impale and Embolden. Each kill the spear allies. He gets willpower to spearmen and adjacent allies when he impales people. Okay. Ludin is the Prince of Men, the first heir of a vast kingdom. Though unliked by peers and rivals on account of his high-born attitude, few question his intelligence, combat skills, or courage. Hey, maybe he'll turn out to be a good guy, but I don't particularly like him right now. Hakon. You have Sundering Impact, and also the Heavy Impact thing. Hakon is something of a legend in Varl culture. When he met Vognir, it was during the Second Great War, in which the two became known for cutting a swath through Dredge, where others were struggling just to stay alive. Vognir was always the charismatic leader, but there's no question about which of the two would win in a fight. So Hakon is the best fighter. No points available. Okay, so those are my heroes. Gunolf is the one who's injured, but I think that's my roster. That's the party. Oh, I see. So I'll have a roster here, and then you can switch them around. Okay. That makes sense. Back out of there. We have rest. Training. Although I really don't want to do this right now, but... Alright, so you can test... Training 10 allows you to test your party against a team of clansmen of equal power. Training fights never injure your allies or grade right now, but they do let you test strategies and safety. Okay. Well, let's end training, because we're not really actually that interested in it. Okay, we're going to take another break there, and we will see you in the next episode.